Yes, ma'am. Okay. We're sorry for the delay, guys. Um, let's get started now. Good morning, everyone. We at CliMed Research Solutions invite you all to participate in this seminar hosted by the organizing club Interns. CliMed Research Solution is a research organization specializing in clinical research, pharmacovigilance, medical writing, and data analytics. Welcome to our webinar on stress awareness. In the next hour, we will explore Stress Awareness Month through poster presentations and discussions. Stay tuned because we will be having a question and answer session shortly. Whether you're facing stress at work, in your personal life, or both, this session will equip you with practical tools to navigate through those challenges. Stress is a universal experience which, despite having a profound impact on health, goes unnoticed. Our distinguished speaker today is Ms. Gayatri Ma'am, the founder of SWA Eternal, an alternative and holistic health service. Ms. Gayatri Ma'am possesses a diverse range of expertise, excelling as a neuro-linguistic programming practitioner, life coach, TEDx speaker, and special needs educator. She is also known for her works as an Akashic Records healer and passionate LGBTQ+ ally. With her varied expertise and wealth of experience, Ms. Gayatri brings invaluable insight to our discussion on stress awareness. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Ms. Gayatri ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'll just start my video. Just give me a second. Good morning, everyone. I hope I am visible. I think there's some issue of the lighting.
Yes, ma'am, you're visible.
Yeah, just give me a second. Yes, please. Hello, everyone. Good morning. How are you all this Sunday? Thank you so much for that introduction, Aisha. And I would like to make this session more interactive. So if please use the chat box very freely. Please feel free to unmute yourself, raise your hands, unmute yourself, and talk about it. Because I want the session to be more interactive rather than just like, me talking throughout and just everybody else getting bored. So I don't want that happening. So let's have this interactive session. I would love to have the chat box open. So before we begin, I want to understand from all of you, what is stress for you? What is stress for you? You can unmute yourself and answer, or you can choose to write it in the chat box.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Stress is something we feel when we are under pressure, when we are unable to cope up some things like in work or studies that create stress on us.
Okay. So what is your personal stress?
Like exams, pressure, like small amount of pressures. That's it.
Okay. Exam pressure and everything. Okay. Anybody else? Thank you so much for sharing. Anybody else? Career stress. Okay. Many of you have career stress. Okay. Anything else? Life situation and events. Overthinking. Yes, overthinking is a biggest stressor. Yes. Anything else? Anybody else wants to unmute? Lack of time leads to stress. Health. Okay. Health. Okay.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes.
A stress-free condition is a condition where the mind is free and calm and can understand different perspectives.
Okay. Yes. Stress-free mind is calm and understands different perspectives. Okay. Anything else? There are a lot of messages coming in the chat box. Confused status, no proper daily plan, when things get undone. Can you explain what do you mean by when things get undone? What do you mean by things get undone? Anyone? Anyone can, lack of understanding of or reason for the different emotions will lead to stress. Things which are out of comfort zone. Okay. Things which are out of comfort zone. Anything else? Anybody would like to come on? Okay, perfect. So when we, okay, thinking about something too much, okay, society, yes, again, society, yes. Relationship, okay. Money, yes, like our goals, work, etc. Okay, that is stressing for you. When things are not happening the way we want, or to even try after so hard may lead to stress. Performance anxiety, lack of support from family and friends. Absolutely, that is one of the biggest stressors that we can ever have. Uh, Perfect. So these are certain stressors that we really, really work with. But having said that, how comfortable, broken heart, money, emotional lack of sleep. Absolutely. Broken heart is something that we really work on, as we say, responsibilities, procrastination. So now let me ask you one thing, all of you. We have spoken about this stress a lot here, and we are talking about different reasons for stress. What is it? Do you think stress is bad? How many of you think stress is bad? How many of you would say stress is bad?
Actually, ma'am, stress is not bad thing. A small amount of stress which motivate us to achieve goal, and like stressing too much it causes like which uncontrollable stress will lead to like a physical and mental health which impacts on us. A small
Absolutely.
amount of stress is good for us.
Absolutely. A small amount of stress is definitely good for us. Stress is not bad. Yes. Somebody said, yes, stress is bad. Living with stress for a long time is bad. Yes. Little stress is good. So, all of you agree here that stress is actually a good thing. There are two different types of stress when we talk about. One is eustress and one is distress. Take, for example, today talking about stress. As somebody who does so many sessions regularly, for me, I have social anxiety. Being a person with social anxiety, speaking in front of a crowd gives me stress, like legit stress. But this stress is something that just like, can be taken care of the moment you have your work done. After this session, I'll be like, oh, great, I got good feedback. I had good interaction and it's fine. So that is eustress. The butterflies that you feel just before the exams, or the knots, not the butterflies. Butterflies is not before the exam. Butterflies when you meet somebody new in your relationship. Many of you have said relationships stress you out, but those butterflies is good stress. The knots in your stomach, the feeling of nausea or something of that sort just before a job interview, all of those are good stress. As somebody rightly said on the group chat here, that excess stress is what we need to work on. Excess stress is something that needs to be taken care of. I am not able to share my screen for some reason. Can somebody please look into it?
Sure, ma'am. I'll just try making you co-host and check it.
Okay.
Share this.
Otherwise, is it
Can you try it now, ma'am?
yes? Just give me a second. I will. No, it's still not giving me the right. Just give me a second. I'll just otherwise do it from a different device, possibly coming from a different device and try sharing it from there. So how many of you get stressed by the news that are happening around? How many of you get stressed by the news that go around? Anybody get stressed because of the news happening, the current news, anything? What stresses you out more? News or getting to know about, oh, my friend got the job and I didn't get the job. Or, oh, that person scored so well in the exam. I did not score so well in the exam. How many of you get stressed by the news that comes into you? Or how many of you get stressed just by overthinking? How many overthinkers, if you can raise your hand? I am one of them. Anybody else who's an overthinker? Aisha is an overthinker. Sakshi, Vaishnavi, Megha, Priya. Why do I have more number of females saying here? Or all of them? Okay, Shweta, Utkarsh, Shambhavi, Adarsh, all of you are overthinkers. Okay. I have a small activity for you guys. How many of you are ready to do a small activity? Ready for an activity? If you guys can switch on the cameras would be amazing because for this activity. If not, that's also absolutely anybody who's more than okay to switch on and volunteer, please. Can anybody volunteer? Can anybody volunteer? I would love to have like somebody volunteer. Yes. Can anybody volunteer for this activity?
I can volunteer, ma'am. Aisha.
Okay. Hi, Aisha. Okay.
Hi, ma'am.
So, when are your exams coming in?
They recently, actually, I have my exams right now. So I have
Okay.
one tomorrow.
Okay. Which is the paper tomorrow?
I have formulations exam.
Formulations. Oh, and is it your favorite topic or is it something
No.
that you stress about? Okay.
I despise it.
So what is the thought that is happening in your mind right
I'm trying a different approach this time, but usually I panic
now?
and I over prepare
Mhm.
and I overdo, like I write more and I do more, but I end up with the same results. So this time I decided I was going to take it a little slow and not worry as much about it and see how much I score through this.
Okay. So what have you done not to worry too much about it?
I started preparing later on. I didn't
Okay.
start preparing way too early, like I usually do. I over plan and I over prepare. So I have nothing prepared.
Oh, you have nothing prepared. And how is that making you feel? Be very honest. How is that making you feel?
Slightly anxious.
Okay. And what are you doing about this anxiety?
Not thinking about it.
Okay.
And
Okay.
yeah, that's all I'm doing. And it does keep coming to me occasionally, like when I'll be doing something. Okay, I have an exam tomorrow, and I I need to score well, but
Mhm.
I'm trying to honestly just not think about it.
Okay. Not think about it. And but is that a good way to deal with it? Is my
No,
question.
that's not, because that's not handling the challenges that are coming my way. It's like
Mhm.
putting it in the back burner.
Mhm.
So, I mean, long term, that's not a good thing to do.
Mhm. Okay. So, as everybody, how many of you are in Aisha's steps right now? How many of you are stressing but not thinking about the stress? So, Aisha, what I want you to do is I just want to close your eyes and I want you to take through a small activity that I usually do with students who are stressed about certain things. Okay. Just
Mm-hmm.
close your eyes for a minute
Mm-hmm.
and get all the thoughts that you have about the exam that you have not prepared. Let them
Mm-hmm.
all come to the forefront.
Yes. Mm.
And now tell me, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel like I don't have much in my control,
Mhm,
and I feel like I'm not in charge of my problems. Yes,
mhm,
I am, but I feel helpless,
mhm,
and I feel like there is no solution,
mhm.
and I have very less time, and I won't be able to do it. And what was I thinking? And I should have started earlier.
Okay,
What if this doesn't work out?
absolutely. So what I want you to do now is just what is it that will make you not feel all of this, not feel helpless, not feel like as if there is no solution or totally that it's not in your control, or what can give you back the control? Because if I tell you to take a deep breath right now, you'll be like, Gayatri, please stop. 10 people have told me already, don't. Yeah. So, what is it that will make you feel in control?
Planning. I feel like
Okay.
writing it down, like my action plan, like what I'm going to do to deal with the problem I have.
Okay. So, that is the way you usually work. You write down your
Yeah.
action plan. So, I
Yeah.
want you to take a minute, a quick minute, without giving it a second thought of what I'm writing or what I'm not writing. Just write down whatever comes to your mind on how can you get back control.
How I can get back control.
Yes, that is the question that I have for you. How can you get back control? Done?
Yeah. I feel like
And
again I just came up with an action plan.
okay, so what is it that you got?
I I would think of my problem and
Mhm,
what my problem is and the limitations of my problem. So for example, I have an exam tomorrow. The limitations is that I have very less time,
mhm,
and that I want good marks is my requirement.
mhm.
And then I would think like how much of what I want is practically possible. So is it possible for me to finish the whole syllabus or 50% of the syllabus? Uh, and like I don't want to overburden myself. And so yeah,
Yeah, okay. So,
yeah,
and now that you've written this down in front of you, how does that make you feel?
slightly more in control.
More in control and better than what you were thinking 2 minutes back?
Yes.
So what I want to do through this activity for everyone here, especially who stresses out a lot and who tries to suppress it, is deep breaths work, yes. Drinking water works, yes. But what works mainly is not thinking too much and just writing down whatever comes to your mind. Okay? Put this activity in your day-to-day thing, that the moment you start feeling that stress, there are times in the day when we start feeling that stress, right? It's a very small activity. Just write down whatever comes to your mind. There is no need. If it is an action plan that has come up, write it, keep it with you. But if it's just the thoughts that you've written down, tear the page, throw it away. And this I am giving the next 1 minute for everyone. What I want you to do right now is, yes, you are all listening to me speaking, but there are a lot of thoughts within your head going on about some or the other issues in your life. I want you to take the next 1 minute and write down whatever comes to your mind. Just take 1 minute. It's 11:40 on my clock. I'm giving you till 11:41 on my clock. Take 1 minute and write down whatever thoughts. Do not give it a thought as to why I'm doing and what I'm doing. Yes, it's 11:41. Everyone pens down. Give me a thumbs up if you have all written it down. Everybody has done. You can put it on the chat box or just put a thumbs up. Yes, Usha, thank you. Aisha done. Okay. Anybody else? Please give me thumbs up. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Aradhya Purva. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Sambhavi. Thank you, Sri Vidya. Okay. Is it on a empty, separate piece of paper? If it is, I want you to just tear off the paper. Just tear it off. Just tear off the paper that you've written it on. Burning it. Amazing, Aradhya. That is the best thing to do. Burn it if you can. If you can burn it, nothing like it. If you can't right now, tear it. And then you can burn it later. Either way works. And as you see it burning or as you see it being torn, tell me how you feel. I would be more than happy to see how it makes you feel. Light weight reduction. Thank you, Arad. Anybody else? Then continue doing that again, Shweta. That's absolutely all right. It is a process. Understand, is your mind stopping? Is your mind stopping? Srividya, somewhat relief. Yes, sense of relief. Mind is not stopping. So things will come back to you again and again. These are some quick solutions. In a 1 hour session, I cannot give you a lifelong solution, but these are some quick solutions. I mean, I know every time you go for a stress management workshop, they tell you, oh, you should not do this, you should do this, you should do this, you should not do this. But what actually can you do quickly? Every one of us, or I would just say one thing, okay? If at all, what to do if you don't have a pen and paper? What would you do? I do one thing. Everybody has this device with them these days. Everyone has this with them. WhatsApp these days has a very beautiful feature of sending chats to your own self. Write down everything, send the chat to yourself, and immediately delete it. Works almost the same. I won't say exactly the same because there is something peaceful in doing that tearing or burning the paper, but deleting the chat on WhatsApp also works wonders. No, don't erase the whole thing. Send the message and then delete it. Do we have to listen to heart or mind? What is the heart and what is the mind is my question to you. Reshma, right? What is the heart and what is the mind? So before we get to those questions, I would just like to also say that when you are in a stressful situation, how do you live? So when you talk about when we are alone, those things will come again and we will change ourselves. Okay. Change ourselves. Okay. Mind is logic and no logic works with heart. Are you very sure? Overeating and sad and anxiety. Okay. Are you very sure that heart has no logic? Mind has logic. Is mind always logical? Here, I would like to add in one of the things very important. There is something called as the conscious mind and your subconscious mind. Your conscious mind is what brings you the logic. Heart is basically your subconscious mind. Again, everybody is speaking about a very important thing, that is we get carried away by emotions, carried away by emotions. Why are emotions bad? I would like to ask, why is emotions bad? Why are emotions bad? Who says emotions are bad? Can you get on to the next slides? You can just skip to the 4th slide, actually. Bad experiences is fine. But yeah, just go to the next. Yeah. So these are basically causes: self-generated, work, money, relations, irritants, and life changes. These are the causes of stress that we talk about, and all of you put it in. But one of the things that is not here is emotions. Emotions do not cause stress. Please understand, bad experience is different, but emotions are not. There are no good emotions, there are no bad emotions. There is nothing called as too emotional, or there is nothing called as less emotional. If you feel hungry, are you going to eat? Or are you going to sit, oh, why am I feeling hungry? I should not be feeling hungry. How can I feel hungry? Feeling hunger in the middle of the day is so bad. Do we say this to ourselves? Do you ever say this to yourself? No. But if I am feeling angry and I feel like crying, if something, I have lost something and I feel like crying, what is the first thing? Oh, no, crying is bad. Why is crying bad? It felt good to tear off that page, right? It felt good to burn that piece of paper, right? It felt good to write that down. Crying is one of the best therapies you can do for yourself. Cry. There's no harm in crying. The first thing that you have to be strong. What is strength? Is my question to you all. Most of our stress, I personally say, is self-generated. Because we put up ourselves on a pedestal. This is my benchmark. And that is a very good thing to do. Have that goal, put that benchmark. But it's okay if you are low at times. Other days you might be high. We never cry if we go high, do we? Your benchmark is here. You go one day, you go here. Do you cry? Sit and cry? How many of you celebrate every time you go high? Give me an honest answer. How many of you celebrate every time that you go high? Three participants. Okay. Anybody else? Every time. Of course, we will celebrate. How many of you remind yourself of that celebration the day you are low? How many of you remind yourself of that celebration if you are low? Very rare, right? Why not? Why not? If you can celebrate this, you have to be kind to yourself when you are low. There might be a reason you might be truly feeling less, or you might genuinely be not in the state. Why does it have to be? This is the average benchmark. This is the average benchmark. So average means a mixture of highs and lows. That is where mindfulness comes into picture. And that is why I personally feel most of our stress is self-generated because of the benchmarks that we put and the inability to accept that at days we can be less. That is strength, to accept that I can also require help. That acceptance, that understanding that it's okay if I am below the benchmark, that it's okay if at days I'm not able to be there yet. That is strength. It's okay to ask. Asking for help. How many of you will agree that asking for help takes a lot of courage? How many of you will agree? That is strength. Look at these trends rather than saying, oh, I am too emotional. I get too emotional when I cannot do anything. I become too upset. I get too angry. I feel so low. It's absolutely okay. All of you. It's absolutely all right. The moment you say that it's okay if I'm not performing well in this one test because I had my XYZ reasons. You know yourself best. Do not get upset because of how the world will see me. We are all empathetic. All of you would love and try to understand what other person is going through, isn't it? But what about your own self? Empathy, kindness begins here. People are not bad. I'm so sorry. People are not at all bad. The situations are good and bad. The situations that shape them are good and bad. Also, when we talk about relationships, when we talk about workspaces, when we talk about experiences in colleges where we say that friends betrayed us, all of us need to understand one very important thing. We gave them the power to do that to us. If I tell you, oh, you know what? This is a bag of sweets and you can go crazy on it. Wouldn't you all take the opportunity to just go and grab your favorite candy, your favorite desserts, your favorite ice creams, your favorite milkshakes, your favorite cold coffees? Wouldn't we all go and get it? Wouldn't we? So when you're giving the right, you are giving the person the right to do that too. So what is required is self-awareness. Be aware of what stresses you out. Be aware of what makes you you. Be aware of what triggers you. I'm not saying, yes, there are bad people. Yes, there are cases and individuals where it's totally out of your point. Yes, there are people who have issues. But those are the people who do not want to deal with their issues, and you cannot do anything about it. These are the things that we call are out of our control. Yes, bad things happen to us. Yes, a lot of things. And I speak this from my own personal experiences where, things go bad. But we have to understand how we come out of it is only on us. How we break those patterns of stress, anxiety, and understandings is on us. So yes, there are other things that are there, but the solution lies here. The solution is here. Be it heart, listen to your heart if you are a heart person. Listen to your mind if you are a mind person. Listen to both. If you can try out both and see what works for you. There is no specific answer of whether I should hear to my mind or should I hear to my heart, because it all depends from person to person what makes you stress free. Do that. Can I go to the next slide, please? So identify and eliminate the stressors. If they are in your control, definitely eliminate them. Fret fests. What are fret fests? Oh, I am so stressed. I'm so this thing. I'm so that thing. I'm so, you know what? I did not study. I did not study. I did not do this. I should have done that. I should have done that. I should have been there. I should have spoken to him. I should have completed my work on this time. Stop. Learn to put a full stop. Like Aisha, you said, I am not prepared. Okay, I am not prepared. Full stop. Because I am not prepared. Full stop. Now what? When we get into I am not prepared because, the moment because comes in, a list of negative things come into your point, which again takes you into spiral. Learn to put full stops on the actual situations, actual realities. In a relationship, that person left me on red. Full stop. Why? What's the reason? Is it because I was so this thing? Because I am only a bad person? No, the person left me on red. Full stop. Fine. Now, what am I going to do? If you feel you have to reach to the person again, do it. If you feel you are done, you're done. Do it. Put a full stop. Take this with you. Put a full stop after a sentence instead of a comma or a semicolon or a reason. I did not score good. Full stop. Now what? That is what you can put in for yourself. And that is exactly, try to live your life where you put full stops to the actual realities and not think of the scenarios, because you know your mind. What you say the other person, when you start giving reasons for the other person's belief system, is when you don't know how they think. You don't know how they work. Their reasons might be totally different. You are giving your own overthinking overdrive. Don't give reasons for others' behaviors. You can only give reasons for your behaviors and your things. Just remember that. Does that make sense? Perfect. Meditate, exercise, or do any activities that you like. And here I would say any activities that you like means even going off to sleep. Go to sleep. Absolutely fine. Go to sleep. Avoid excessive news. Do not hear, oh, this happened, this gossip, this thing in school, college, this thing here, that happened in office, this happened. Oh, there is going to be an employee reduction. Oh, this person did not get the appraisals that they were supposed to. Oh, this is what the management. Okay. You're going to get what you're going to get. It's okay. Access the inner humor. Right, this is one of the best things that you can do. Access your own inner humor. Okay, fine, okay. Instead of calling there is a problem in me, you know what I call myself? I call myself an exotic piece. I actually say that. I mean, with my experiences, I usually say, oh, there has been so many things that I'm an exotic piece that the God is also a little upset about how he created me. So I am having fun and living my life. So whoever gets me gets like an exotic piece of a human being. There is only one because the God later on the creator did not create any more pieces like me. Find that in a human. Call yourself something exotic, unique, whatever works for you. Bring that in a human. Let go. It's okay. You might be wrong. The other person might be wrong. Entire world might be wrong. But it's what is done is done. Let it stay in the past. Let the future be in the future. Try to live in the now. What am I doing at this moment? Just focus on this moment. Don't even think a moment from later, a minute from now, what I'm going to do. Right now, I'm doing this. Do it. And last but not the least, as many of you in the beginning said, that if it stays for a longer time, it can turn toxic. So please ask for professional help if you need. Please seek that help. There are professionals, there might be. I always say this to all my students, to all my clients that come through. You just have to find that one person who will listen to you. All of us need just that one person who listens to you. And not everything can be done by you alone. Yes, we are all capable of dealing with it alone. Yes, we all have the strength to deal with it alone, but we don't have to. Next slide, please. And in conclusion, it is a natural response. Please understand it's a natural response. We have to manage it as important and we have to address it correctly. Identify your stressors, stay away from these particular situations or separate yourself out. Keep handy certain things. Remember to let go and ask for help. I understand it is difficult to find that one person, but that is why you need to keep trying instead of giving up. And stop worrying so much. Just relax. Life is not over yet. And there can be something much more beautiful that is coming your way next. Can I have the last slide, please? It's not the load that breaks you down. It's the way you carry it. Is the quote that I would like to leave you all with. It's how you carry your load is what matters. We can stop the sharing and we can have discussions and take in the questions and anything that you want to ask. By the time you're putting in, I would just like to add in. You're here to live. So make sure you do exactly that, live. This moment, this point in time, this date, 21st of April, 2024, 12:02 p.m. is not going to come again. Always remind yourself of that. And then live in this moment because it's beautiful, the way it is. You're here, you're alive. And there is somebody somewhere who will listen to you. It's just a matter of finding that person. Don't stop, don't give in, and don't give up. Anything else? I'm more open to questions. You can unmute yourself, ask questions. If there is anything specific you want a solution to, or if there is something specific point that you want help with, please feel free to ask. Anyone? The chat is open, or you can unmute. Alfia, Shweta, Habiba, anything from your side? Anything you want to ask? Making convo is difficult. Okay. For this, I will just give you one small activity to do, Farish. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Farish, right? So what I will tell you is, you don't have to have long conversations. Start with just saying hi to two new people every day. Just try to do it every day. Start speaking with hi and then build up. Just speak hi, then hi, how are you? Hi, how was your day? Just something. Start with just connecting with people. Hi. Start with a hi and gradually go further. You don't have to go through everything alone. What if the person, that's absolutely your choice. As I said, you can do it alone. It's not that there's no doubt about whether you can do it alone or not. You can do it alone, but there is no harm in knowing that you don't have to. It's just that you build it up on yourself. Again, you're putting up yourself on a pedestal when there might be somebody just waiting to help you. So if that person decides to go with it alone, absolutely all right. That's their choice. Nobody can take off the choice of the person. But what I'm saying is, it's absolutely okay to know that you don't have to. How to stop procrastination? Okay, this is one thing that I usually do is you put up a list of things, your to-do list. Start with a to-do list and make sure that you complete one task before you move on to the next one. Do not do multiple tasks. Do not multitask. Do one task completely, then move on to the next one. Finish that, then move on to the third one. Finish that completely, then move to the fourth one. It's okay if you do not complete all the 10 tasks on the to-do list. It's okay if you start with just one. But make sure that you are doing it religiously every single day. You're doing it, complete one task, then move on to the next instead of doing it, and reward yourself. Reward yourself for doing it. Radhika, yes, you have to find that person within ourselves. Absolutely fine. But खुद से ही कितनी बातें करोगे? It's absolutely, if you find that person within you, nothing like it. Absolutely fine. That is an amazing thing to have. But even in all the chaos, you require a different perspective to things, because when you're talking just to yourself, you just have one perspective. And that is the reason why finding that one person is important, because they might be the ones that will show you what your ups and downs are. Mayuri, you say you find often filled with doubts and numerous thoughts prior to beginning something new, such as whether, okay, and that's absolutely okay, Mayuri. That's absolutely okay. This is a normal human process of being, and that is a eustress that we talk about. Those doubts. The important thing is how you deal with them. So yeah, okay, fine. This is the doubt. If it doesn't go smoothly, I have a plan B. If it doesn't happen this way, I can ask for help. Take it as it goes. It's absolutely all right to have that doubt. And that is a human tendency. At the end of the day, we are humans and not robots to not have these doubts. Getting too attached is good or bad? Again, I would say depends on how you deal with attachments. If getting too attached is going to cause you issues, then it might not be such a good thing. But again, if it is who you are, then can you really stop it? It is, if that is your core nature, that I get attached to people very easily, you have to just understand yourself that you feel that does not necessarily mean the person in front will feel. And till the time you're reminding yourself of that regularly and not putting the blame on the other person for not responding or reciprocating those attachments, it's absolutely okay to be yourself. I would say just be yourself. Then there was how to be that person who listens, who cares, who wants to know it all. I would say first begin with yourself. Till the time you can do this to your own self, you cannot do it for anyone else. So do you listen to yourself? Do you listen to what your body, mind is telling you? Do you really care about yourself? Do you know everything about yourself? And define wants to know it all. Know it all as in what? You can only know what other person can tell them about your life. You cannot be the nagging auntie also in anybody's life. So how to be that person is first do that to yourself, because all the people here, till the time you do that to yourself, you cannot be there for somebody else, because you yourself will be emptying your glass, and that is not something that you can carry on forever. How to stop thinking too much? Like overthinking is be mindful and break the thought. Be mindful of what you're thinking of and break the thought. Now, if I'm going into a spiral, oh, I have not done this, I'm only bad person, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Gayatri, stop. It's okay. Put up a process in which you stop. Be very mindful of your thoughts, and that is a way, one way, easy way to stop overthinking. Again, Usha, the same thing. Overthinking, you have to be very mindful of your thought process. Perfectionism. So perfectionism, a very good question. Thank you for it. For me personally, I feel perfection is a perception. What is perfect for you is not perfect for me. So no matter how much perfectionist you are, somebody else might still find a thing that is find an imperfection in it. A person who wants to find an imperfection will always end up finding imperfection. So keep it to yourself. Don't expect it from others. Do it for yourself. If you are happy, that's what matters. Expectations, again, the only expectations you can have is from yourself. Others, you really cannot think, do, expect, or tell what they can do. It's all in their choice. Gain confidence. One of the things I would say for gaining confidence is please be self-aware. Don't let what others say affect you, but that also comes in from self-awareness. So as individuals, you need to be first self-aware of yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your vulnerabilities. Vulnerability is not a bad thing. It is a superpower, I say personally, because if you are vulnerable and you only talk about your insecurities, nobody else can use them against you. So please, first and foremost, for any of these things, you need to be self-aware. And it's absolutely all right, Yashoda, that, it's absolutely all right to have negative thoughts in your mind. It's absolutely all right to feel insecure. What matters is just being focused on the goal. Okay, this is not working. How do I do it? It is not working, full stop. Now what? I am finding a roadblock, full stop. Now what? Find a solution rather than the problem. Of course, I do need one person and I do have a person, and understand one of the very important things in life, a therapist, a psychologist, or whoever they are, they themselves have their own therapy sessions and their own therapists and psychologists they go to. And we also need one person. Everybody needs that one person. And not necessarily, I have been betrayed by many of those such persons, but still what is important, as somebody said, is like you have yourself. There is this one thing that happened recently, and I was at, I would say, at the lowest point in my life. And somebody said one thing to me: when you are at the rock bottom, you don't necessarily have to go up top. You can just walk straight. What matters is walking and not stopping. So you don't have to climb mountains every day. You can just walk straight. You don't have to be the best. You can just be. So just be. And that is important. The aloneness that you think about is understand what it is, where is it coming from, and why you're feeling that loneliness. It is important that you understand that. And first and foremost, as I recently said while answering to Madhavi, is like, just be. You don't have to be happy. You don't have to be sad. You don't have to be upset. You don't have to be angry. You don't have to be peppy. You don't have to be, you just have to be. I am. I am is a complete answer in itself. I am is a complete emotion itself. I am is enough. So at times when this all happens, just be. Self-motivated is understand your why. Why are you doing a certain thing? Find out your why. And if you know your why you are doing this, you won't require anybody else to motivate you because you will be doing it because of that particular reason. So anything you do, understand why your purpose is behind. Ask for help, Nazia. Please ask for help. There are, as I said, there are certain things where you cannot deal alone. It's better you ask for help. See how you can work on yourself. When you talk about family issues, when you talk about relationship issues, when you think about situations where you cannot get out of, then you need to develop techniques that you can stay within and still be your own person. And for that, you definitely need help because otherwise you're just going to go into your shell and not come out and not find that spark within you. So please go and ask for help. If there is a chronic stress and chronic, it requires professional intervention, it requires professional help, and there is no harm in finding one. So please do that. Don't hesitate. If money or finances is an issue, there are many organizations who help free of cost or at very minimal charges. There are a lot of places where you can speak to. If any of you wants to connect with me, please feel free to connect with me also. We can work something out. A lot of things, as you said very rightly, yes, there are diseases which are stress-related diseases, but please make sure that you find the help. Oh, very good question, Megha. We feel like we will hurt someone by our actions. Again, if it feels right to you, it is right for you. You might even do the best possible thing for a person and the person still might get hurt or not appreciated. How the person reacts is not in your control. Understand how the person reacts is not in your control. The only thing that is in your control is what you do. And there's this meme going on Instagram these days. You cannot make everyone happy. But you cannot. You're not a bar of chocolate. You're not a teddy bear, if that makes you happy, or flowers, or whatever it is. You cannot make everyone happy. At the end of the day, you have to focus on yourself and do what makes you happy. If somebody gets hurt, you can be the bigger person and say sorry. But again, if it makes you happy, sometimes you have to understand that you cannot make everyone else happy. There will be at least one person who might not be happy or might get hurt because of your actions. That's absolutely all right at times. Anyone else? Most welcome.
Does anyone have any more questions they'd like to ask? I'm confident that you now have an actionable takeaway that you can implement in your life or work. The key insights from everything ma'am said are all valuable to help you navigate and manage stress effectively. We learned how to acknowledge emotions by being aware of what triggers them, understanding the root cause behind what's causing the overthinking, and breaking the thought process. We also learned about being aware and at peace with our vulnerability. And finally, like ma'am said, you don't have to go at top, you can walk forward. Remember, change starts with the small steps, and by incorporating these changes in your routine, you can manage stress effectively. There's this is an announcement for everyone attending. There'll be a feedback form in the chat box. Please fill it out.
Also, I have put up my email ID in the chat box. So if anybody wants to connect, can write to me.
Before we move on to the next part of this session, we would like to present ma'am with an appreciation certificate. I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to Ms. Gayatri ma'am on behalf of the entire CliMed team for joining us for this session today. Your commitment to promoting mental health in our community is admirable. Thank you once again to ma'am and all the participants for being a part of today's session.
Thank you so much, Aisha. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Do I have to stay back for the next part or what is it?
No, you don't have to.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And I hope you took back something from the
Yes, we
session.
did, ma'am.
I would wish you all a stress-free day ahead. And I hope you find solutions to your stress. And just be. You don't have to be any emotions attached to it. Just be. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Just in case someone missed it, please fill out the form which is in the chat box. We'll be starting on the poster presentations. I hope everyone's here. Yes, okay. Let's move on to the poster presentations. The response we received. I just wanted to make sure, am I audible?
Yes, Aisha.
Okay. Let's move on to the poster presentation. The response we received for round 1 was overwhelming. With a large number of posters being submitted, after careful review and consideration, 8 outstanding posters were selected for round 2. We extend our sincerest congratulations to the creators of these selected posters. Your creativity, talent, and dedication have truly stood out. We are excited to see how your work progresses in the next round. Participants selected for the presentation of their posters for Stress Less, Live More poster making competition will be presenting their respective posters. Each presentation will be allotted 4 minutes and a reminder bell will ring at the 3-minute mark. The winners will be announced through WhatsApp. Let's begin. We will be starting off with Usha Tata, Sakshi Pekhale, Rinda Popli, Shruti Jha, Sakshi Kopre, and then Samriti Sarkar. I hope you guys are ready. And if the first participant, which is Usha Tata, if you can start your presentation. Usha?
Yes.
Yes, you may start.
Hi everyone. Good afternoon.
Guys, just give me a minute. I'll share her poster.
Excuse me. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible, Usha. You can
Yeah.
start.
Okay. Good afternoon to everyone. Myself Usha from the third year. As the world is going fast, we are facing so many problems. One of them is stress. Stress had become a common concern affecting mental and physical health. It can causes so many diseases like cardiovascular diseases, kidney problems, psychological problems, as we are going on, the overthinking is one of the cause that comes from the stress. Um, the stress will be come out from the work pressures to personal responsibilities every day. Life prevents numerous changes that can take a toll on our mental and physical health. Effective stress management techniques are vital not only for coping with immediate sensors but also preventing long-term health diseases. The stress can cause chronic type of diseases also. It comes to the type of stress. Acute stress that rises from belief, intensive pressures like deadlines or public speaking. Episodic acute stress occurs when acute stressors are frequent, leading to a pattern of tension and worry. Third one is chronic stress is a long-term and persistent, often stemming from ongoing. We can manage the stress in different methods. First thing is mindfulness, meditation. Meditation will give us the mindfulness, deep breathing, exercises like yoga, jogging, maintaining a balancing diet, avoid sleep. The sleep also. Okay, thank you. Thanks for the giving the opportunity. Thanks.
Usha, you can continue speaking if you want to because you still have some time left.
Okay, thank you. I
Just
have to
to clear,
conclude
just
that.
to clear it out, there'll be two buzzers for children. Okay, so the first buzzer will ring at the 3 minute mark, and the second
Okay,
one will indicate 4 minutes are over. So you can speak until then.
okay,
Okay.
okay, thanks. Um, we can manage stress by balanced diet, adequate sleep, setting relaxed goals, time management, seeking social help, and seeking professional help if needed. We can do what our mind think also. If we interesting in painting, writing something, it will give us relief also. So please go out the stress and live more life. Breathe in, stress out. Embrace security and banish anxiety. Be happy every time. Thank you for the opportunity. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much, Usha, for your presentation. It was lovely. Next we'll like to have Sakshi Pekhale, and I'm going to repeat the sequence again. After Sakshi Pekhale, we will have Vrinda Popli, followed by Shruti Jha, Sakshi Kopre, and then Samriti Sarkar.
Hello, good
Sakshi,
afternoon. Yes,
yes, good afternoon. You can
yes.
start.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. So my topic is autism spectrum disorder, growing threat in children. So basically, autism, also called as autism spectrum disorder, is a neurodevelopment disorder, which is a neurodivergent, and it affects the differences in the child's brain. People with ASD may behave or interact in different way than the normal people. They have trouble in social interactions or with interpreting and using a non-verbal or verbal communications. Now, how autism is caused? It mainly begins with prematurity and placental dysfunction, autoimmunity, maternal infections, reactive oxygen increase in reactive oxygen species, which leads to increase in mast cell activation, leading to interleukin 6 and gut brain barrier disruption, causes brain inflammation, leads to autism. The clinical manifestations of the autism may be difficulty in interacting with other people. Many children of the age 2 to 4 or 6 years have difficulty in interactions. They faces various problems. It may be due to the social media or telephones, mobile phones, maybe due to that. But differences in how they interact, there is differences in how they interact, they how to speak, there is lack of communication in between them, trouble using verbal and non-verbal communications like eye contact, gestures, facial expressions, a delay or absent language development, trouble forming and understanding relationships, they are unable to form their relationships, repetitive motor behavior like flapping arms. There's some children may go in OCDs, like doing a particular thing for more than times, tiptoeing, walking on the toes, showing wrong emotions or expressions, like when there is a situation of happy moment, they may be in sad moment, or they are unable to express their emotions. Insensitive or sameness in the environmental routine. There are two stages of diagnosis. The regular child screening stage. It is very important for the children of 2 to 6 years to go under regular diagnostic stages. It is a diagnostic and statistical manual of mental health which goes forward for this diagnosis. Additional diagnosis includes physiological development, physiological diagnosis, educational speech diagnosis, therapeutic diagnosis, hearing diagnosis, speech language, pediatric diagnosis also. Comorbidities associated with autism may include ADHD, which leads to hypersensitivity, obsessive compulsive triads, mood problems, disturbances, seizures, food problems, constipations, leads to indigestion. The epidemiology of autism is 1% in worldwide, and in India it is about 2%, which means that about 50 50 children are affected, and about to are affected. Management of autism may be applied behavioral analysis, social skill training, speech language therapy, occupational therapy training. Medicines of aziprazole, reciprazoles are also included in the management of autism. Concluding the poster, autism is a in children is multifaceted. While there is an increase in awareness and diagnosis of ASD, it is crucial to approach the topic with empathy, understanding, and focusing on support and sources of individual and families. Early interventions, inventions, education, and access therapy are very important. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation, Sakshi. Next, we would like to have Vrinda Popley. Vrinda, are you there?
Hello.
Yes, Vrinda. You may start.
Good afternoon to each and everyone. Firstly, I am very thankful to CliMed for this wonderful session. And secondly, I would start with my topic. My topic is bipolar psychosis and its management. Firstly, I would like to emphasize on the mood disorders. Mood disorders, we have to understand the mood could be on either elevated happiness or either could be suppressed of the mental state. As we have seen the pendulum, the two extremes represent elevated mood and the depressed mood. Based on that, the disorder is classified into bipolar and unipolar. Unipolar when person experience only one side of emotion, and bipolar mean two poles are there. Person experience happiness as well as a continuous depressed phase as well. Bipolar disorder based on a very crucial dig past mechanism, we identify the bipolar symptoms. Dig past represent destructiveness, impulsive nature, grandiosity, flight of emotions, ideas, and sleep issues. These are the criteria based on which bipolar is identified. Firstly, there are two types of bipolars. Bipolar 1, where person have the main difference between bipolar 1 and bipolar 2 is that in bipolar 1 patient is still in contact with, in bipolar 2 patient is still in contact with reality. In bipolar 1 patient lose contact with reality, and we say the person is delusional. When there's such things happen, we say this is bipolar psychosis. Bipolar psychosis is clinical manifestation and last stage of the bipolar disorder where person is not able to differentiate between the reality and their mind delusion. Based on such thing, bipolar 1 and bipolar 2 is there. Bipolar 1 lasts from 1 week to maybe 2 weeks, and bipolar 2 is basically maybe 3 to 4 days, 3 to 4 days. In bipolar 1, patient may require hospitalization, and in there, the dopamine antagonists need to be given. Assessment is basically done on the base of two criteria. Firstly, the person having delusional or their motor cortex is working well or not. If person is seen to be having lose the contact with the surrounding and the reality, we say it is having a bipolar 1 type disorder. For management of bipolar disorder, we usually design two ways of treatment. Firstly, we antidepressive and anti-maniac. We have to give in balance because we have to control the mania as well as the depressive state. In firstly, for depressive state, we give SSRI, that is serotonin reuptake inhibitors like risperidone, etc. For the maniac to control, we usually give in combination. We don't give a single therapy, but on the basis of combination, we could give anticholinergics, we could give antidepressive like valproic acid, like lithium, and there is also one cyclothymia. In cyclothymia, the person don't experience mania but hypomania, where the person is still in contact with the reality. And we usually also give the antidepressant with combination of SSRI. If one is missing, the person would like to precipitate either maniac condition or either depressive condition. Thank you. This is my presentation.
Thank you for your presentation, Brinda. Next, we would have Shruti Jha. Shruti, if you are there, please unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Just give us a moment. Your poster will be up, and then you can begin as soon as it's up.
Yeah, okay. So I'm starting, right?
Yes.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. So I have selected this topic for this poster presentation. So yeah, Mindscapes Unveiled Art and Science of Schizophrenia. So firstly, I would like to explain the title of the poster. So firstly, the mindscape, which refers to the landscape of the affected individual's brain, right? And unveiling means uncovering their mental state. Art and science refers, there are like art and science are the two distinctive interconnected aspects. Art deals with subjective, creative and expressive side of like it's an artistic representation of schizophrenic individual, and science deal with more evidence based and objective based methodology. So yeah, introduction will be it is a paradigmatic illness of psychiatric. So why it is paradigmatic? Paradigmatic means it's a typical ideal example of psychiatric disorder, because schizophrenia is like it covers multiple disorder in it, multiple symptoms, multiple like positive negative cognitive symptom. It is a mixture of all, so that's why it is a paradigmatic example of the psychiatry. So the clinical syndrome are variable because it depends on like various psychopathology, and it differs from people to people, and it involves perception, thought, emotion, movement and behavior. So yeah, epidemiological findings suggest that the prevalence has been increasing. Like in the high income country we saw high prevalence, and DALY means disability adjusted life year. It is like calculated as combined life loss due to premature dying is 2 years lived with disability, so it is increasing. In India, the prevalence is 0.3, contributing to 10% of the mental health. So the types and symptoms involve paranoid, disorganized, catatonic, undifferentiated, and residual. So the main difference is that paranoid is prominent in delusion and hallucination symptom. Disorganized is more for speech and behavior disorganization, Then catatonic deals with immobility, excessive motor excitement. Then undifferentiated type deal with if the category is a mixture of symptoms, then it is under the undifferentiated type. And the last one is residual, which means it currently has milder symptom and the patient has dealt with just one episode. So here is the division of the three symptoms: positive, negative, and cognitive. So positive include suspiciousness, this delusion, hallucinations. Then negative has affective flattening. It means the emotion, like the way we there is like illogical thinking and the reduction in intensity of emotional expression. Then there is alogia. Alogia means poverty of speech. Anhedonia means inability to experience pleasure. And evolutions means there is a restriction in the individual. Now there is impaired attention and working memory. So the mechanism involves the dopamine transmission in specific brain region, and mostly it involves dopamine, glutamate, and serotonin all together. And all three have different etiologies. So here are the two images which you can see, and the effect is there. So the hypochondriac region, you can see the difference in that in the both the images. Management includes CBT, first generation antipsychotic, and second generation antipsychotic. Examples are for first generation haloperidol, chlorpromazine; for second generation risperidone, olanzapine. And so I have this CBT therapy. I have done my project in the similar concept on CBT. So CBT is a psychotherapeutic approach. So I will just explain about the CBT. There are sessions like 10 to 12 sessions for a patient, and during that session they were given with like some suggestions regarding their thoughts, behavior. So yeah, CBT includes all of that, and these are the references. So I would like to conclude my poster with that. Yeah,
Thank you, Shruti. Um, Sakshi, you're next.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. Should I start now?
Yeah, you can start now.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sakshi Kopre. I'm from Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Research. Today, my topic is post-traumatic stress disorder. It is often abbreviated as PTSD. Let's start by understanding what actually is PTSD. It is a disorder that develops in some people who have experienced a shocking, scary, or dangerous event. This includes combat veterans, that is, like the army people, and the people who have experienced or witnessed a physical or sexual assault, abuse, an accident, a disorder, or serious events. It's nothing but the people who are stressed because of the historical factors which they have gone through. Let's understand the symptoms of PTSD. They find trouble in concentrating because the thoughts keep running in their mind. They have trouble in sleeping, which is insomnia, and they have anxiety and nervousness. They keep overthinking, like what is going to happen next if they are going to interact with the same event again. They have several mood swings. One moment they are happy, the next moment they are sad, and the cycle just keeps on repeating. Agitation is another factor which is observed in them. They keep fighting with people. Also, self abuse and self harm is also observed in some of the patients. They often suffer with fear. They get scared. Also, they are triggered very easily. For example, I have met with an accident, so I was quite scared to drive the vehicle again. So that was like a acute thing. Next, we have the treatment. Treatment includes, first one is exposure therapy. What they do in exposure therapy is they simulate the similar situation wherein you have to face the historical event which you have gone through, because of which you are scared. So when we go through that event again, the stress and the fear in our mind kind of gets relieved. Next is a cognitive therapy. Cognitive therapy involves talk therapy, which includes various professionals who help you to talk things out and relieve you. Also, people start thinking negatively about the whole procedure. So the professionals who are present, they help to figure out things, and they give you a positive approach for the same, and they take out the things which have been stuck in your mind, which is causing you to not concentrating, trouble in sleeping, etc. Medications are often involved, such as antidepressants and anti-anxiety medicines. They include prazoxetine and sertraline. So these are the medicines which are involved. Often PTSD is mainly observed in females because they are quite affected by all the things very easily. Also many army people many army people suffer the same because they've been through war. They also have the same things going on in their mind, and so on. Lastly, I would thank everyone for your patient listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Sakshi. Next, we will have Sampriti Sarkar. Sampriti, are you there?
Hello.
Yes, hello. You're audible, and you may begin whenever you feel like it.
Okay, so hello everyone. I am Sampriti Sarkar, and today my topic for presentation is From Chaos to Clarity: Insights on Schizophrenia. So, since it's the Stress Awareness Month, the theme for this year is Little by Little, a little becomes a lot. That means by cumulative effect, taking small steps day by day, we can improve our overall well-being with time. So now let's come to the topic, that is schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is a mental disorder that is characterized by recurring episodes of psychosis that are correlated with abnormalities in perception or expression of reality. Its epidemiology is global prevalence of schizophrenia is around 0.7 to 0.8% of the whole population, and its annual incidence is around 15 cases per 1 lakh individuals, with higher rates in main and urban areas. Classification of schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is classified into 5 types. Paranoid. In paranoid schizophrenia, the person has predominant positive symptoms of schizo, that is delusions and hallucinations. In hebephrenic schizophrenia, the person has disorganized thoughts, behaviors, unusual speech pattern, etc. In catatonic schizophrenia, the person suffers from significant reduction in voluntary movement or hyperactivity and agitation. In undifferentiated schizophrenia, the person has symptoms of more than one type of schizophrenia, and that's why it becomes difficult to classify it into any one single type. In residual schizophrenia, the person has a past history of at least one episode of schizo, but the person currently doesn't show any positive symptoms, only the negative symptoms prevail. Now, coming to causes, schizophrenia can be genetic. That means it can be passed from one generation to another generation. Changes in brain chemistry. In schizophrenia, there is either increase or decrease, that is an imbalance in dopamine level in brain. Environmental factors. If a person has a tendency to inherit schizophrenia, then certain triggering factors like viral infection, extensive exposure to toxins, or highly stressful situations can lead to schizophrenia. Now, sign and symptoms. There are 3 types of sign and symptoms in schizo: positive, negative, and cognitive. Positive symptoms are those symptoms that are normally experienced by a person, but it occurs during a psychotic episode in schizophrenia. Positive symptoms include hallucination, delusion, confused thoughts, disorganized speech, trouble in concentration. Negative symptoms are deficits of normal emotional response or of other thought processes. It includes blunted affect, showing flat expressions or little emotion. Alogia, that means inability to speak. Anhedonia, inability to feel pleasure. Asociality, lack of desire to form relationship. Evolution, lack of motivation. Apathy, lack of feeling. Cognitive symptoms include inability to process social cues, impaired sensory perception, memory impairment, difficulty with attention, and making decisions. Now, there are 5 stages of schizo. In prodromal phase, the person suffers from deteriorating function. In acute phase, he suffers from positive psychotic symptoms. In recovery phase, it comes just after the active phase, and the person has a little bit of positive symptoms. In residual phase, the person suffers from negative symptoms and no positive symptoms. And in chronic phase, it only comes to those persons who didn't respond adequately to the treatment. Now, diagnosis includes physical evaluation, psychiatric evaluation, imaging studies like MRI, CT scan, and we classify it based on ICD-10 or DSM-5 criteria. Treatment includes physiotherapies like family therapy, cognitive therapy, non-pharmacological therapy, and pharmacological therapy. So I can conclude the poster by saying that schizophrenia can't be stopped, but by cumulative support, we can help the patient to live a happy life. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation, Sampriti. All your presentations have been wonderful. As we come to the end of today's webinar, I want to express my gratitude to each of you, our audience, for your active participation and thoughtful questions. Thank you once again to ma'am and all the participants for being a part of today's session. Take care, and until next time, embrace calm, live fully.